Welcome to Jets Rewind and JetsRewind.com. I'm Marty Shupak. I'm in Valley Cottage, New York. I'm joined by my partner, Ray Clifford. He's in Marysville, Ohio. Ray, how you doing?
Well, another typical Jet Sunday this year.
Yeah,
No defense, limited offense.
it's just been unbelievable. Bad defense and limited offense. And I just want to make a couple of comments. There are certain things I could take and certain things I can't take. I just can't take when I have a team that doesn't show any heart. And there was one play where they're running down the left sideline, and we've seen this movie before where they could just push the guy out and they keep missing him. And I just never seen anything like it. And the Jets, they're just not playing with pride. They're making the opposing quarterback look like a Hall of Famer. They might as well bring like these yellow jackets whenever they play the Jets, because you could just put it on the opposing quarterback. They're a Hall of Famer. And just besides, I mean, Queen Williams played his heart out. He played injured. I've been on CJ Mosley all year, but that guy gave 100% effort. I thought Elijah, what's his name, the new guy, the safety, played a good first half.
Riley,
I'm sorry?
Riley.
Riley played a good first half, but the second half, he was just fair. But other than that, I mean, between our quarterback that he can't throw a short pass, he can't lead a receiver, he can't see down the field, and when he runs, he slides too early. On that 18-yard run, he might have had 10 plus yards more if he went to the sidelines and turned it up. On his second run, I thought he slid too early again. And on top of that, you have receivers or people that say they're receivers that are dropping his balls left and right. Now, he's not making it easy. I admit it. But a lot of those balls, these professional NFL players, they got to catch them. Ty Johnson, he's got to take a good look in the mirror, really, because, he was killing drives at the very beginning, not giving Zach Wilson a chance. And again, I'm really sour on Zach Wilson. I think they should move on from him. I know you'll disagree because, I'm very impatient, but it's the same script over and over again. They have 4 more games left. Miami, the Jaguars, Tampa Bay, and Buffalo. I don't see them winning. Maybe the Jaguars, just because they're in turmoil with their coach and their quarterback's not doing much better. But the other thing I want to say, Ray, because, I go on Twitter a lot for JetsRewind.com too. And I just want to point out to other Jet fans, am I supposed to feel better because Sam Darnold's not having a good year? And am I supposed to feel better because Trevor Lawrence is struggling, Justin Fields is struggling, Trey Lance is struggling? That's all I see on Twitter about they're struggling, but I don't feel good at all. I just don't like the direction of this franchise. I don't like what I'm seeing from this quarterback. We were supposed to see some sort of progress and growth the second half of the year. We're seeing the same mistakes over and over and over again. We're seeing a guy regress. It's very easy to say, well, he didn't have his top line receivers, but I think that's the easy way out, to be honest with you. And I'm telling you, Ray, and I said it to you on the air, I said it off the air. They're not going to, I want to draft Kenny Pickett. They're not going to do it. But going into next year, he's got 4 games. And then he's on my bum list because I just can't take this anymore. And I told you, and I'll tell the fans, I'm not sure I'd watch these games if we didn't do these podcasts. They're unwatchable at times, this team. They really are. Not just defensively, but offensively. It's just, you never see anything like it. There's another quarterback. I mean, they give him the gold jacket right now. They made him look like a superstar. I'm afraid to look up his quarterback rating of the game. It must be phenomenal. It's just unbelievable what's going on. The guy throws 4 interceptions last week. We can't even sniff an interception. Because I think we have 2 interceptions this year, Shaq Lawson and Ashton Davis. Those are the only interceptions.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, we need playmakers, but I am just am so discouraged. And the last 4 games, it's going to be a struggle to sit down and watch it.
Right.
And Ray, I'll turn it over to you before we get into the nitty gritty.
I just wanted to look real quick because I know at the end of the third quarter, the Saints had 32 minutes of time of possession, and we had 15 something. And it was a little more even in the fourth, but that was more because they weren't really going at it real hard. They were just kind of wasting time off the clock and not, they had a 2-score lead, and so they weren't going at it as hard as they were earlier, or it probably would have been worse. I've been making excuses for Zach because I really believe in being patient with guys like this, and especially when, despite what was said, I believe that he was going to have a transition period coming from BYU, but some of the stuff doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how he can't throw a 10-yard pass.
Stay steady, Ray. The microphone's picking up something. It's like clicking every 5 seconds. I don't know what it is.
Is it stop? No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
But anyway,
TV in the other room. I can turn it down in a minute here. Well, I don't understand from Zach that he was supposed to be very accurate with his passing in college. And I've always been a little wary of that. Guys coming out of college are throwing to these guys who are wide open and they say they're accurate, but they aren't really having to put it in the same little window they do in the NFL. But this is different. He's throwing, the past podcast, I was saying he was putting it at their shoestrings, from 10 yards away. Today, he was short hopping it to him from 10 yards away. He couldn't make a simple screen pass. He's throwing it in the ground. He had Griffin wide open 10 yards away, and he threw it 3 yards short. I don't know if he's got the yips and it's in his mind, or if he's really just never had to really be that accurate and isn't, really able to make the pass. I have to believe he's just having some issues mentally with making easy throws, even though, the other throws aren't a lot better. Even when he's making the passes, most of them aren't right on the money. They're a little off. They're a little behind. They're a little high, so I'm thinking it's in his mind now, that he's lost so much confidence that he's just, basically got the football version of the yips. But
Ray, why now? I don't know. How many passes has he thrown in his life? 2,000, 3,000? I'm just wondering why is
why?
it?
No, I think is because he's a pro. It's a whole nother level, and he's a big market. He's got tons of eyes on him.
Isn't there something called muscle memory?
Huh?
Isn't there something called muscle memory that's going to do
Hopefully
the job?
Kick in, man. Maybe it's something he just needs some more time to settle down. I think part of it is confidence. He doesn't have any confidence. It's almost like aiming. You start aiming it when you're wanting to do something instead of just, letting your muscle memory and your, take over and just throwing it. He's thinking about it. He's aiming it. He's trying to be, trying to place it instead of just putting it there. And that's not uncommon. And it also can be something that, a little bit of confidence he can work through. But God, it's so frustrating to watch this team. 3 and out. The whole, what do we have the ball? Minute in the first quarter? Minute and a half?
Whatever it is. And look, Sam Darnold was never this bad.
No.
And he looked better towards the end of his rookie year.
None of our other quarterbacks on the team have looked this bad.
And I'll be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if a couple of veterans went up to Sal and said, look, we got 4 games left. We know you want to develop this young quarterback, but we want to win games. We want you to put the best person out there that's giving us the best chance to win games at this point. Because I think the locker room's going to be splintered if it's not already. It's just
I don't get the feeling they're that kind. I don't think it's like Jacksonville. I think that's a splintered locker room. I think though that I think if you want to give this kid any chance of coming out of it, you can't bench him. I don't think they can do it. I just think you just ride him out for the rest of the year. They'll, I agree. I'll be surprised if we win any games, even Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got a good defense, and that's not a good sign for us at the moment. But they're also a team in turmoil, so they're a possibility. I can't see us beating the other three, but then again, I didn't think we'd beat Cincinnati or Tennessee, and we did. And so it's not, it's not going to shock me if we win another game or two. But usually when we won those games, we've played a fairly good all-around game, and it just seems like we'll have one good game like that, and then here we go a month and a half, and we aren't doing. Even the Texan game, we didn't play a great game. It's
right.
just a horrible team.
Just
the defense is frustrating too. I mean, I can't blame it all on Zach, because the defense, we were talking during the game, and I'm like, yeah, we're doing 3 and outs, but they have several opportunities every drive to get off the field, and it's 3rd and whatever.
We can't stop
the first down. So the defense has their hand in it too.
Right.
So.
Just a couple other players I want to point out. Because again, I just don't think they're playing with that much heart. I thought Braxton Barrios played well. Even though he only had 2 catches, Ryan Griffin, I'm not a huge fan, but he looks like he comes to play. If he doesn't get a penalty, I think, and he makes a couple of catches, that's all you can expect from that guy. The guy that really hasn't played that much, I thought he gave an effort. He's not as talented as some of our other running backs, but when Michael Pirine got on the field, he rushed 7 times for 28 yards. And I don't think he did awful.
No, he, after the first couple runs were a little tentative, and then he looked like he hit a couple holes and made some yardage, and he looked pretty decent.
Right. Yeah, CJ Mosley, like I said, I thought he played well. I've been on him. I thought Quincy Williams was pretty good. Elijah Riley had a good first half. Brandon Eccles had a couple of bad plays, but he hasn't played in a while, so it's good to have him back.
He was in there though, and I like seeing him back on the field.
Javelin Guidry, he's got no conception of space or how far he's got to cover the man or take an angle. I don't get it. I liked him, but he's coming up short, Ray, game in and game out. I mean, he'll have a good game, but I thought he was lousy today.
I think that's what you can expect out of him, is that he's a filler guy. He can fill in, he can do things, but I don't think he's ever going to be a permanent fixture on the field, barring injuries like we've had, where you have no choice. He's a great guy to have on the team, I think, for depth, but I don't think he's going to be anybody who's going to be a full timer on any team that's any good at all.
Right. Again, I think I love Bryce Hall. He made 1 or 2 mistakes, but that guy's a solid pro. I really believe, Ray, people don't agree with me. You put a good defense around that guy, I think he could be a number 1. I mean, last week he was covering, I guess it was Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner from Alabama on the Eagles. I thought he did a great job. I think he caught like 3 passes for like 21 yards or something. I really believe this guy's really good. I know he missed Kamara on one of his runs. That guy's a tough player, and he'll do that once or twice a game. But he's one of the bright stars of a lousy draft. And I just want to point out 2 other things. It looks like we might have found a kicker. He was 3 for 3 today,
Yeah,
which I'll take it.
I'll take it. They weren't, the only thing that worried me was those kicks were kind of low. I was like, man,
Yeah.
those could be, you might
Ed-
get those blocked. He's going to have to get some height on the
right.
kick.
Eddie Pinheiro, and he hit a long one at 46. And Braden Mann, I thought he had a wonderful game. When he first came back, his first game was lousy, but he was terrific today. And I mentioned Braxton Barrios. He's like probably the second best player on our team on offense. But it's just so concerning when you're watching a game, and it's like the psyche of a Jet fan is like, well, when's the interception going to happen? When's Zach going to throw it into the ground? When we get a score, it's, well, where's the yellow flag? We have such a negative attitude in watching this team. It's just unbelievable. And Robert Saleh, we disagreed. I thought he did a lousy job there. Then did the first half with the clock management because they could have gotten an extra playoff. But I heard his press conference, and look, I got to hand it to him. The guy, he puts a positive attitude. There was only one question from Rich Cimini. He really didn't answer. But I still am a believer in Robert Saleh. He's got some growing up to do in the job. I think our offensive coordinator is getting better with what he has.
Yeah.
Defensive coordinator, again, it's a question mark.
So,
I mean, my game plan would have been, look, we have to have containment on the outside because if this guy gets to the outside, he's going to kill you running.
no,
And I'll be honest with you, he hurt us on the passing too, the middle passing he hurt us with.
yeah, but it was, I mean, it was almost all, like they'd say, the guys were saying on the air, when you saw the fullback come into the backfield instead of Kamara, you knew it was a quarterback's draw or whatever. He was going to run, and that fullback was coming in to block for him, and you knew it. And the one time they blitzed from one side and he ran to the other for 10 or 14 yards for first down when we had him in third and I think 9. Like the blitz was fine, but if you don't have somebody on the other side contain him, all he did was as soon as he saw him coming, I don't think the play was designed as a run, but as soon as he saw him coming, bailed out to the right and off he went, and there was nobody there to slow him down until he was, well beyond the first down marker. So
yeah,
as far as the Salah not taking the timeout, where I thought, and the guys on the TV said it too, where I thought he goofed was we got a first down on the other side of the 50. And then he let the clock run down to like 30 some seconds. I thought he should have taken it then.
Yeah, he's got to take it then. He would have had another play. You're absolutely right.
That's where I thought he really goofed it, because the other one would have saved him a few seconds, and we would have had the 2-minute warning. But that one, God, it was almost like they held up and went with a regular play. They took forever getting that next snap off.
Yeah. Taysom Hill, the quarterback, he rushed 11 times for 73 yards, 2 TDs, 6.6 yards per rush. He was 15 for 21 passing, which is unbelievable. 175 yards, 15 for 21 is about 71%. The one thing I can tell you, it's a rule of thumb, whatever opposing quarterback there is playing the Jets, they throw at least 70% passing percentage. Whereas Zach Wilson, at one time, even you called me or texted me, he was like 4 for 14.
At halftime, he was 4 of 14.
He ended up 19 for 42. And I don't want to keep going on and on about him. There's just so much about him I just really don't like.
Make the short passes. I mean, the Ryan Griffin one, it might not have gotten a first down, but it would have moved the chains a little bit, but the marker a little bit. And it would have been a shorter third down, and we might have gotten a first down. Instead, he does that, and then it's a 3rd and long. And we have receivers who don't seem to have any separation. I don't know what it is where we don't, these DB, every team we play can't have the greatest DBs in the NFL. but our guys are covered all over the field and they're running free all over the field. I don't get it. I really don't understand how, if we're playing that loose, or do we need to really up our talent level on the DB, because this is getting ridiculous how easy it is for teams to convert third downs and just plays in general on our defense.
And this receiver, DJ Montgomery, that guy's a disease. I don't want him on the field. I'd rather
Him or Mims.
Mims. You know, you see why the staff doesn't like Mims, because he seems like he doesn't know the rules.
Well, and then, two penalties in a row, and I think that's the last we saw of him.
Yeah,
Is he
but
on the field again?
they called one penalty on him. In all fairness, there should have been offset and penalties. They said he used his hand, but right after that, the defensive back, I don't know if it was Latimer or what, he like spun him down on the ground.
Body slam.
Yeah, the first half. And the second half, the reffing evened out a little, but the first half, I started telling you, Ray, here we go again. They're playing the Saints, they're playing the referees. It's like every week. And,
the penalty on the punt either, where he didn't give him enough room to catch the ball on a fair catch that the guy let hit the ground. And even was it Gene Steratore or whichever guy was the ref commentator up in the booth, said, well, usually if they're engaged with a blocker, they don't enforce that because he can't see the guy running at him. He goes, that was a pretty tough call. Well, yeah, it was a tough call. The guy not only was doing a fair catch anyway, let the ball hit the ground, and then they flagged him for being too close.
And my biggest complaint again, Ray, I don't think, did they show that, a replay of that after the commercial? I don't remember, but they
showed it after. I know they showed it before real quickly.
They jumped so quick, and it's Justin Hardy, who's turning out to be a horrible free agent signing. Whatever, even though it's not his fault, get him off the field then if they're gonna call it. But it's amazing, these guys up in the booth. It's like 2 weeks in a row they say, "Wow, I've never seen that happen before," and it's always the Jets. It's just you've never seen anything like it. It's just unbelievable. I just want to say also. Let's see, Kyle Phillips, he had a nice sack, which was good to see.
Yeah, well, he flattened him.
Yeah, and it's so obvious, and we touched upon this in the last show, their type of defense, not having a pass rusher, even missing Bryce Huff, who only has 2 sacks, but he was effective in some of the games. The defense is so ineffective. They have to draft an edge pass rusher. And Ray, you pointed out the guy from Alabama. I think it was C.J. Anderson, number 31.
I think it was Anderson, his name.
Anderson. You have Hutchinson from Michigan, and you have the Greek guy from Purdue. The other Greek.
And there's also the guy out of Oregon, Thibodeau.
Well, Thibodeau, he'll be gone though. Well, I say he's gone, but he might have the first pick. You never know the way it's going. But
I don't think we will. But just it depends on the need of the team drafting too. So he could draft. He won't necessarily be gone with the first pick, depending on who's drafting what they need. They might.
I got to tell you, it's been funny. I was watching the Jets postgame show. And Bart Scott, Duzable, and Willie Colon, they do a good job.
Yeah.
But it's funny, Bart Scott saying, they started talking about the Jets. He goes, I can't believe there's 4 weeks left in the season. Leave the Jet fans to talk about the draft this early. And I say to myself, I've been looking at it the last week in September.
I was paying attention to who's coming out.
Oh my God.
Start announcing, I'm like, okay, that's a guy to keep in mind.
Remember last year I told you I got hooked on this draft simulator? Yeah. I've been doing it for the last 3 weeks religiously every day. It's been unbelievable.
Well, some guys still have to announce. Now, one thing we have going, I honestly think that if we're in the order it's in now, one of those guys, the defensive guys, we don't have to worry about the Texans draft. I think the Texans will take a quarterback. So that means one of those edge rushers won't go in the first two picks, so maybe they'll, depends on if we end up third or fourth, depending on where we up. But if we're behind the Texans and the Lions, then although I think the Lions could have like 5 wins this year.
Seattle won today, by the way. So I don't know
Yeah,
where that puts them. But Ray, I know the first pick you use, I'd like to trade down with the second pick. There are so many holes, you have to accumulate picks. It's a good draft for linebackers, which we need. There are some good edge pass rushers. There's a good one. There's a good one in Coastal Carolina. There's a good one at USC. Linebackers, there's a good linebacker at Utah, another good one at Georgia. So there are some players out there, but I want smart players. I mean, sometimes our team looks like the stupidest team in the world. Some of the things they do, and they look like so. And I don't want to rub you the wrong way, but they look like so unpatriot way. If you know what I'm saying, they're just doing the dumbest things, game in and game out. And Robert Saleh also has got to take some heat for that too. As when we got on the air, we spoke about it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won in overtime, beating Buffalo on a touchdown pass to former New York Jet Rashad Perriman. So Tampa Bay continues on, where they will meet head on in the Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. It's going to be the highest rated Super Bowl ever. And I know that's going to make your day, right?
Minus me.
You're going to go bold.
Everybody will be watching it but me.
I know you're going to go bold. I know that.
I'll play tiddlywinks.
Right.
I could do anything.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to close this out. And Ray, anything else you want to add before we close it out? And
no, I mean, there's not. You can only have so many, only have so many ideas for solutions, and now it's just a matter of are we playing out the string and just getting the season over, or are they gonna jump up and surprise us and win a game or two? Who knows? I mean, I can't see them doing a whole lot, but I can always I'll watch and hope.
All right, Ray, here's a question for you: under 200 yards rushing today. Did the New Orleans Saints go over or under?
I thought they went over.
They did.
Because what's his name went
203 yards. Alvin Kamara had 120.
Yeah, and then
Taysom Hill had 73, and Tony Jones had 10 yards.
Yeah.
So
I'd say between those first two, I was like, they were almost to 200 them.
Oh yeah, it's just every week we put up superstar numbers for the opponent. I'd never seen anything.
Yeah, I thought it's something like we've given up 100 yards rushing in all but I think 2 games this year. I think it's as a team. I don't think they meant as an individual rusher, but as a team, we've given over 100 yards to pretty much everybody.
Right.
And that's that right there tells you what's wrong with the defense. I mean, not only can't they get off the field, that a lot of times they aren't putting them in 3rd and long, which gives you, at least a shot. When you see 3rd and 1 this past game, you knew, well, here's Taysom Hill running a little quarterback, whatever, for 1.5 yards, 2 yards. But, maybe if it was 3rd and 7, we could have gotten off the field, but I don't know.
Right.
We just find a way to give up the first downs.
Here's a hypothetical. Kenny Pickett, the guy I love from Pittsburgh, if I told you when he's in the NFL, he's going to be as good as Justin Herbert and Kenny Burrow, and the Jets have a chance to draft him, what would you do?
Well, knowing that, I'd draft him, but
okay,
that's if I do that going in. But
well, I'm telling you, he's going to be that. Ray, I'm telling you could put it in concrete. Kenny Pickett is going to be that good. I've been saying that since the middle of the year, and everyone's on to him. He started out as a projected 3rd round pick. Now he's going to be a top 10 pick.
Yeah. So, well, Josh Rosen was a top 10 pick too.
He was, yeah. Ray, you know what I look forward to? Seriously? The NFL playoffs. You know why? I don't have to feel the tension being a Jet fan.
No, I
Just-
can cheer against everybody that I
I
hate.
could, yeah, I could, no, I could relax saying I don't have to worry about when's something going to go wrong because it always does.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to close this out for Marty Shupak and for Ray Clifford out in Marysville, Ohio, for Jets Rewind and jetsrewind.com. Until next time.